Good morning on this rainy morning and welcome to Jasiri. As Kiss Daniel so aptly puts it in his song, love is in the air, wear a face mask. And today that love is palpable. We're celebrating with one of Africa's biggest stars, Davido, as he ties the knot with his beloved Chioma, hence Chivido. Catherine, Chivido.
Chivita. Oh, sorry, Chivido.
Join us as we share in their joy and kick up the show with a special nod to their special day.
Did you see the rock on the hand? Wow. Did you see the rock of ages?
This is what I said. Somebody look at me the way David looks at Chioma. I actually saw that.
She's so gorgeous.
Tolu is not phased. In fact, Tolu is wearing her
but do you know that I will not be surprised tomorrow? We'll see Tolu after work taking pictures at the wedding, and this how she'll be throughout the show. No, I ain't going.
So anybody who gets married, I'm happy for you. Happy for you making that decision. Whatever takes you there. She's looking gorgeous, mother of 2. She's had 3 children. We respect them, and we, of course, I'm very sure Ifeanyi is very much at the top of their heads, at the top of their minds right now, the child they lost last year. Beautiful. But she has twins, and she looks fantastic. And I say, anybody, if you're going to get married and you've been pregnant, wait till you get snatched, because those pictures will live with you for the rest of your life. So I have nothing else to say, but congratulations to them. It's a decision that they both made, and they will both live with.
Tolu, why were you so,
they can't see me.
And by the way,
I'm very happy for you both. I really, anybody.
This guy is actually.
Tolu always talks like she's reading a script. Don't worry.
This guy, I'm not a teleprompter, my friend.
Do you guys know that Davido is actually strategic? Just check his page. There's a new song dropping today. Today, of all days.
Is it Chioma, my love?
I want to be so shady, but I'm going to hold my shadiness right now.
Right, what did you want to
say? Is the new song about the lawsuit, or is it about the wedding?
None, actually.
It's just a normal.
It's a remix. It's a remix of a popular song that we know. Just check it.
What's the popular song? Just talk it now.
Say it now.
I can't remember. That's why.
What's the name of his fan club?
FC.
No, that's Wizkid.
Sorry, they come for me.
Wizkid FC. Anyway, who's the biggest Davido fan in here? I like his music. I won't lie.
I like his music.
I think he's.
I'm still doing my assignment. You guys hold on.
Are you not a fan of?
I'm a fan of everybody.
Oh yeah, I know the song.
Entire space.
Ogechi, come on. You know the song?
Okay.
The remix. Yeah, it's dropping today.
Is it like Christian song?
Oh.
Jesus.
Ogechi more.
No, but I'll give Davido his craft, his ability to work with a lot of people throughout the years, everything like that. Again, I wish them the very best. What's your favorite Davido song? No, it's somebody's wedding. I'm not going to say.
Why can't you?
My favorite somebody's wedding. I will say.
Don't you like the colors? Look at the way the colors blend.
But it looks like an album cover
on Davido glowing like the sun with her. What's the color? Artisan.
This is gold.
And
champagne. It's different shades of gold and champagne.
Yeah. See the black, like 2 states. See the lion. Is it a tiger or a panther?
Please.
Or a jaguar.
Okay, but really.
But this is my favorite of all the
outfits. Wait, our producer wanted to pepper us because Davido apparently said that the engagement ring that he got for Chioma was worth 3 Rolls Royces. I don't want to know whether you believe or not. Please just roll the video. Roll the video.
2024 excessive steez. Let me see that ring. Oh my God. Wedlock.
3 Rolls Royces right there.
Oh my God. Oh.
Who knows? David,
can I wipe it here?
One of our hot topics.
I can wipe it here.
For what?
For what?
The rock. That is a rock of ages right there. If I had that kind of rock,
needs its own security, while Chioma also has her own security.
But I actually think that kind of ring, maybe she'll put in a vault so that she'll get something lower in case she needs to be among.
Do you know who they are?
Perhaps.
Please tell it to me.
What the heck?
What the heck?
What the heck?
If Chioma's wardrobe alone.
My sister.
Does it require an accent?
I cannot. But do you know what I'm thinking? No. Catherine, do you know how many girls in Lagos will be bearing their soul now. Even the devil will say, do you want the invite? Then I will swim the highest ocean.
So funny enough,
I just want to be
Obi
there.
Africa, I think his manager, who one of his partners, had to put out a tweet yesterday and be like, guys, stop asking me for invites. I have no invites. If you have to reach out to me now, you're asking for invites, stop it. Someone was offering 5 million naira for an invite to the...
No, the security is actually very tight because from what I hear, it's not just about the invites. The person that invited you will come outside and bring you. So even if Davido was one that invited you, you'll come outside and get you.
I don't blame them. Let them control it.
I won't lie, I was expecting something more low-key. I'm going to say.
No, this is an industry wedding. This is the industry's wedding.
It doesn't matter.
He has a lot. David has...
It was more low-key when it was traditional.
You know, he's a governor. He has a law writing.
You know, just even cast that aside. He has incredible following. It's almost like a cult following because of how open-handed he is.
Yeah.
David is very generous. People say, oh, you just say one thing, he does two for you. And I think a testimonial was that time when he playfully put it out there on Twitter.
Yeah.
That,
About his birthday.
Yeah.
For the donation.
And he did so much for the charity.
Oh my God. Nigerians came out for David. In fact, Nigerians in Nigeria, in the diaspora, Africans, listen, they came out. He was blown away. He didn't expect that. He didn't see it coming.
I think the only time he got a backlash was when there was this barber. I don't know what the story was. And then he came out and was saying that he would have changed the guy's life, but the guy messed up. And people were like, you're not God. But aside that, like, he's been really generous.
Yeah.
So I don't blame, and everybody wants to be part of that. If it were televised like the royal wedding, perhaps
They could actually have done that as
they
well.
could have televised it.
Because it feels like it is.
But Chioma is a low-key person. I forget.
But I'm hoping though that they use Nigerian designers.
But I love the fact that we saw some of her videos yesterday from her bridal shower, and it was nice to see her having fun.
Yeah, someone said that's the longest they've ever heard her talk.
You know, it was nice to see her
She was explaining
fun.
how Davido surprised her. I'm like, you can talk?
Listen, Chioma is Taurus.
Yeah.
You know what that means.
But you know, a lot of times when we think about people we do not know, it's just like people on this table. There are people that see us outside. I'm like, how I wish. What a glorious angel. But to us on this table, we've been buddies forever. So it's like nothing. It's just like, do you know our president is somebody's uncle? I say, uncle.
You know,
I'm telling you.
Yes.
But to some of that, I'm like, yeah.
Might even be someone's sugar daddy. Like, stop that, baby.
You know, by the time they're rubbing him on his head, he'll be like, a genie in a lamp. Yeah. I'm going to get a
But I heard gossip that the purported, allegedly, that the Ashwebi cost like 5 mil.
Lolo, you are the only one who will hear just like that. Yeah. And why is your tongue up on
Lolo
the
and Ashwebi?
So when you call 5 mil, put your diphthong and your...
Even how you call it, you need to respect it.
Remember, considering we spoke about this Ashwebi thing yesterday on this table. We spoke about Ashwebi and we said the amount you pay for Ashwebi is commensurate to or directly proportional
to how you treat it, and the Ghana must go to my take away.
No, Tolu, I cannot pay for Ashwebi. I'm expecting freezer.
But ladies,
I'm expecting generator.
Can you guys imagine what the souvenir at this wedding will be? Wow. I won't be surprised if I see car keys.
Ah, Jesus, don't say it.
Okay, ladies, let's
but before we go on a quick break,
let's leave the wedding aside.
No, before we go on a quick break. Small wedding, lavish or all out? Which would you go for?
Me, at this age?
If you remarry, what would you go for?
If I remarry, definitely it has to be low-key.
Why
definitely low-key is low-key? Like 50
as
people?
Can a wedding be low-key and lavish?
Like,
yes.
I don't think I want to guess more than 50.
Between low-key and loud. You can be lavish in your low-key.
Exactly.
50 people will be like, no,
because low-key,
I moved out of this country.
Yeah.
So
low-key doesn't mean.
I would love that. Like if I was to remarry ever, it would be evening. And it would be like a destination.
You can do midnight now when you do your meetings. How about that?
Say for witchcraft. I will finish before we fly.
Wait,
now,
there's one
as
more
our
question.
leader.
You did not ask the romantic question. Since we're in the, especially with this weather.
Yes.
I'm warning you people. This is weather for two.
And somebody has been having
protecting yourself if you're not ready for wow.
Has been having stomach pain.
So, what's the most romantic thing you've ever done for someone? Because I'm not asking question 3. That's
no. We have to go on this break because this question you're asking, we are 4 people. Exactly. You cannot just.
This is how they start speaking English when they don't want to confess.
No.
Can we? But we shall hear it after the break.
Are you part of it? Have you ever?
I can tell you.
That's why I said hear it, not say it.
To your mother.
We'll hear it during the break.
Hear it.
We need to go on a quick break.
I cannot tell you.
So take us on a break.
I can't tell you. Guys, let's go for a break, a quick break. But when we return, we'll be addressing myths about visas, discussing how to make the most of your Nigerian passports, and exploring if the grass is truly greener on the other side. Like they say, you really should grab a pen and paper for this one. Jasiri continues after this. Please don't bring our dirty leg and come on.
Please say something.
I'm not the one who asked.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Loud and clear?
What is the most...
You want to continue, Kathy?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm quite good.
Welcome back. We're streaming live on our social media platforms. We're at News Central TV. You can use the hashtag Jasiri to be part of the conversations. Now, when it comes to visas, migration, and the realities of life abroad, there's a lot of information and misinformation floating around. And today, we aim to separate fact from fiction. According to the International Organization for Migration, over 1.24 million Nigerians live abroad with significant populations in the US, UK, Canada, and Europe. However, with migration comes challenges, and it's crucial to understand the full picture before making such a life-altering decision. Now, joining us to unpack these complexities is a seasoned traveler who has been to over 70 countries and has just told us he has 100 and something more to go to. He also happens to be a migration expert. Waka Waka Doctor, you are welcome to Jasiri.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Please don't blow you come here. Before you all these doctors, before it was Aproko, now Waka Waka. Are you really a doctor?
Yes, I am.
A doctor of what?
I'm a psychiatrist.
Wow. So people that are not okay.
Mental health, yeah.
That's a good one.
And travel helps with, improving your mental health. So it's a
Having
perfect
money
blend.
helps.
Having money Please tell the truth. In this Nigeria, we are all mad at me.
Everybody.
But you walked in as we were congratulating Chioma and Davido on their nuptials today. But there was a question our producer set us up with. See how I'm looking at my
I didn't.
And so we want to put you on the spot. What's the most romantic thing you've ever done for someone?
Most romantic thing I've ever done.
I know there are many, but just one.
Unprepared trip to Positano. Yeah.
Positano
is a very beautiful city. Very beautiful city in Italy.
Did you pack everything for her?
Will it be with a man?
Did you pack everything for her?
You just be like, hey baby, pack your bag.
Jesus.
Miss me in the airport. She doesn't have green passport. No, obvious.
No, but do you know what? Don't just, to make it better, let me tell you, because women, we overpack. Like if I'm going for even 5 days, my husband's like, what's this? I'm like, I don't know. I can wake up and say, what I plan to wear today, I don't feel like wearing it. So please, anybody who wants to take a leaf from Waka Waka Doctor's page, pack.
You don't need to pack.
And just tell her to pick.
You don't need to pack. Really? You do the shopping right there.
Men, are you learning? It's not pack your bags and leave my house.
All right.
See, what I said was, baby, pick your passport, meet me there.
Is she a foreign stuff?
It's not foreign.
Is she a foreign stuff?
Nigerian. She
Nigerian?
was
What's wrong
Nigerian, yeah. Was Nigerian.
And she appreciated
She
it.
was.
No, I mean, she is Nigerian, but I mean,
It was
a former relationship.
It was, and it was, you gave it was that, and you allowed that to go.
Please, we need to focus.
I mean, she allowed him to go.
Either way.
Let's
both
focus.
of us have gone.
They've gone. You waka. All right, to the topic of the day. So let's start with one of the most common issues, I think, and that's the myth about visas. And I think it's also about it's rumors and speculation.
Yes.
Because I've never seen a group of people like Nigerians who someone will tell you something about a visa or a process, and you take it as God's given truth. Yeah. So what are some of the biggest myths you've encountered about getting a visa as a Nigerian?
Well, I think the biggest one is that you need luck when you apply for visas. But and I mean, I like to be the devil's advocate on this and say that sometimes, you don't need luck fully, but I think luck also plays a role. But a lot of people feel that, okay, who's your father? If you are somebody important, you will get visa. If you're very lucky, you will get visa. But I think it's more about documentation, preparation, strategy than luck. So these are some of Nigerians just feel, you have to be lucky. You need to have money to apply for visas.
You didn't say church. I'm serious.
You know how many I've actually seen people put
I've
their
seen
passports in church.
Yeah.
And they anoint it and all that.
But again, like I said, luck might play a role, maybe like 2%, and maybe your faith as well can play a role. But I mean, it's not a very huge contributing factor.
It's like Ludo.
All right. At least now that they've demystified that one for us. But many Nigerians believe that obtaining visa is mostly luck. Yeah. That's just general. But data from various embassies show that visa rejections often stem from incomplete applications or lack of sufficient financial proof. What are some of the common mistakes Nigerians make when they are applying for visas? And how can they avoid it?
A lot of mistakes. I think the most popular mistake people make is incomplete applications. So,
What do you mean? Sorry to interrupt you. Please don't lose your train of thought. What do you mean incomplete?
Because you shouldn't be able to submit if it's
but you can. You can. Some forms would allow you submit your application without filling all the required boxes. So a lot of people miss out on filling the details that are required for visa applications. So incomplete, application forms will be one of the biggest mistake people make. And then you talk about incomplete documentation as well. Some people submit visa applications with bad passports. Your passport is damaged. You're applying. You're not likely to get it. Then
physical damage.
Yeah, physical damage, water. There's tea. There are many people that do that. They squeeze their passports.
But now he has something like an inbuilt stuff.
Like chip, isn't it? Yeah.
So
There are people who fold. They don't care about. It's an important documentation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But you have people who don't care. What would you do if you wake up one morning and you can't find your passport?
I don't understand. Did this disappear spiritually? Did somebody come in and thief it? I don't understand. Why are you asking me? Why is it my
I'm not asking you there, right? So there's some people that don't care. They don't care until when it's time. So again, and one other thing that's important when you apply for visas is you need to prove ties, to your home country. You need to have proof of funds to be sure that you can take care of yourself when you're in that country. So these are some of the things they want to see, and a lot of applicants usually have.
So this proof of funds is a really interesting point, because I've done enough visa applications in my life, and that's one of the myths initially. Nigerians will tell you, if you don't have 10 million in your account, you can't apply for this country's visa, or you don't have this. And that's where all these companies that loan people temporary funds actually came about. But you get there sometimes and they barely even scan through some of your documentation. And you're just, Auntie, okay, you've been given the visa, go and don't commit sin and come back to your country. So that conversation about sufficient funds, is it for every embassy? Is it maybe when you are young and you're not, and you can't really sustain your ties, or you're claiming, or is it dependent on what you're claiming you're going for? What ties is sufficient funds?
So it depends on what you're going for, and it also depends on the embassy.
Okay.
For instance, if you're applying to the U.S. Embassy where they need to, conduct a visa interview, then most likely they will not look at a lot of your documents. Plus, I think maybe if the line of questioning comes, we'll talk about the bias that we face as Nigerians when it comes to visa applications. But they probably wouldn't look at that. But let's assume you're applying for a student visa application. You're going to be in Italy or Austria for a year. You're going to be in Germany for a year. They want to be sure that you can take care of yourself for that year. So you need to show that you have that money in your account, even if you're going to Canada or the United Kingdom. And a lot of these countries have calculations. You're going to say you need to have proof of £540 per month. You need to have proof of funds of €200 per month to take care of your accommodation, to take care of your feeding and all the bills. So you need to have that and some more. And another thing is, if, for instance, you're sponsoring me to go to the US, as a sponsor, if what you have is 20 million in your bank account and tuition is 18 million. Somebody's going to say, when you pay tuition of 18 million,
what happens to
the sponsor? Are you going to die? So that's a rejection. And so proof of funds is very, very important as well. But again, proof of funds is not just about money. Do you have assets? Okay, do you have not car? Do you have property? Do you own a business?
Okay, so speaking of the bottlenecks, right? We have a tweet where producer and host Bolanle Ulukani shared that her father, a retired ambassador who served in Austria, was denied a Schengen visa despite his long diplomatic service. Now, Waka Waka, I want to say Aproko doctor. Doctor, not doctor. But does this reflect a broader issue with how Nigerian passports are perceived internationally? You talked about, we being Nigerians. So I would like you to elaborate on that.
I mean, coincidentally, I saw the tweet yesterday. And I absolutely agree with her that this kind of things happen. And there's just a bias, okay? How many people do we have in Nigeria? Nigeria is top 10 most populous country in the world, probably number 6 or number 7. So you have a lot of people. In every country, there is a Nigerian. Yeah. And so, again, there are different eggs, in the crate. So you have lots of bad people, you have good people. But of course, if the population is bigger, then the sample size of bad people will be bigger as well, yeah? So these people cause a lot of problems for the hardworking ones. And so illegal migration, going against the rules and regulations of the country that you're residing in would make these people get biased, especially when you have the green passport. So again, if someone has, and this will not happen all the time, okay? Maybe it's just been very unlucky, or there's some things behind the scenes that we don't even know. But we cannot, disprove the bias that people have when you hold or flash your green passport. It's huge.
So sad to hear. All right, before we talk, Japa, let me take you through the Henley Passport Index, where Nigeria, smiling. This man, there's nothing you have not seen and heard. All right, so just FYI, guys, the Nigerian passport ranks 98th on the Henley Passport Index, which means it's allowed free visa or visa on arrival access, meaning that you can go to 45 countries. As of this year, only 45 countries in the world.
Do you know the 45 countries? Desert. Check the 45 countries. They are either desert or water.
And Nigerians won't want to go there because I was going to ask, I don't like how you are laughing like this.
If you check the list, check the list of 45 countries. Either they are desert nations or water. You need to fly and travel for like 4 days to reach those countries.
Okay, let's go somewhere, because sometimes when you take a virgin passport to the bigger countries, the China, the UK, the US, they look at you like, okay. So probably before we get to applying for the UK's and the American visas, how do we encourage Nigerians to first take advantage now
of the desert and the water?
They have to go somewhere.
We like water in this country.
Okay, I think the first thing is to try and explore countries that are close to you, okay? So West Africa you have, and West Africa has beautiful countries. Cape Verde, for instance, amazing. One of the most beautiful countries you can ever visit. Cape Verde, Senegal, Gambia, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, just along that axis you would find, and you don't need visa to visit these countries. And of course, Africa also has beautiful countries like Morocco, which is an e-visa, easy, not so difficult visa application. South Africa, a little bit more complex, but also a very beautiful place. Kenya, Rwanda,
Rwanda's gorgeous.
The whole of East Africa, Tanzania, Mauritius, beautiful, Botswana, Namibia. Beautiful countries that you can go to. These are e-visa countries you still need to apply for e-visa, and you can be refused, only that chances are lower. So my advice would be that people should take advantage of visiting these countries. Gives you a travel history, and then when you're able to apply for the bigger countries, Australia, United Kingdom,
New Zealand.
They know that, New Zealand, they know that you've traveled at least and you've come back and you didn't break any regulations. Then we can try and give you maybe 1 month and let us see. Don't give you more than 1 month.
So I was going to ask about that, because this thing about travel history, I heard it. I heard that, like, maybe if you want to apply for a US, go and apply for South Africa and a UK first, or Canada, that certain other countries, when they see certain other visas, are more likely, not necessarily it's a guarantee, but they are more likely to lean toward. Is it really true?
It's true. For most part of it anyway. For most part of it, it's true. That they want to be sure that this person has gone to different countries and has come back and hasn't broken any rule. So it's easier for us to trust you and say, come see our country. Maybe, for instance, if you apply for a Schengen visa, sometimes They just give you, if you're applying for 2 weeks, they give you 2 weeks. Yeah, and not more. So then if you do that and come back, they can say, okay, we'll give you another 1 month. Then we'll give you 3 months. Then we'll give you 6 months. So you're building a travel history for yourself. And it's easier to apply to other countries as well.
Okay, so let's talk Japa. 1 week, someone is in the country with you, you've been at an O1 Bear, you're talking about making plans, I know EPL season is coming up, and then you call them next week and they say, Baba, I don't Japa. And while the percentage of Nigerians who are Japaing compared to our general population is still quite low, the Japa and brain drain conversations continue to dominate headlines. So Waka Waka, when people reach out to you and they say, okay, this is what we're planning to do, what are the reasons they're giving you for wanting to leave Nigeria?
Just on a side note, I always tell people that if you see your HR, the lead HR on Friday, and she has new braids, she's not coming on Monday.
Excuse me, HR.
She has braids. She's going to UK on Monday.
Wow.
Just, you know, there are signs.
There are signs. No, but next is, I get that braids thing. When I want to travel, I don't want to be disturbed.
Exactly. Right?
Your hair,
Exactly.
They do the million braids.
Or whatever. I'll take you for 2 months. Okay.
So, I mean, there's a popular saying that I give to a lot of people who follow me, and they know this. I always say that if where you're going to is better than where you are at the moment, then move. It doesn't matter what the name of the country is. It doesn't matter what the flag looks like. So long as that country is better than where you are at the moment, move. You have 197 plus countries. And like you said, Nigeria is, according to the passport ranking, 98, which means that there are at least 90 countries in terms of passport strength that are better than Nigeria. So it means that you have 90 plus opportunities out there. So people go out, you know, the needs and wants of man are insatiable. Yeah, you're always looking for better career prospects, better opportunities to make money. You're looking for security. You're raising a family, you're getting kids, you want them to have stronger passports. So access to healthcare, you know, access to just basic infrastructure. So these and many more are reasons that people give most times for wanting to move abroad.
Anyway, you know, this Japa thing has so many branches, and some of them are not wholesome. Because I've heard of people that are selling their properties, quitting their job. In fact, they are uprooting their whole family to relocate abroad. What are the things that people need to consider before going? Because I have heard of people that have done that, and it didn't augur well for them. I know, I don't know if it's on the show, we took a man that was crying, that he sold his house, and now they're living in this shoebox in UK.
Is it worth
what
it?
kind of life is that? You know, what do they consider?
Moving abroad requires a lot of planning. You don't just wake up one morning and say, it is time for me to move. I'm selling all my stuff and going.
That's the first excitement level of excitement. I'm moving up, but everybody's excited for you. But
my brother did it. That guy sitting next to me in church did it. You know, the neighbor has moved to Canada. They're not telling you the whole story. So you see them doing it. And you know, there was a time, there was a Japa wave. It was a huge thing. And you know, you probably want to go to the UK so that you can say in it, just because. Right? That's the only reason why you want to go to the UK. I want to say in it, or I want to feel snow. Okay, that's the only reason why you want to go. It takes a lot of planning. I always tell people, give it at least a year to be sure that you want to move abroad. There's a change of weather, change of diet. You might have to learn a new language. I mean, I go months without eating amala. You know, I mean, because you're not going to find it. So these are some of the things you have to think about. You have to think about the budget required to move abroad. You have to think about you're not going to see your friends. You're not going to see your family members for a while.
Basically, starting all over.
You're starting afresh. And that's why I always tell people that moving abroad or travel in general is not even about the money. It's about courage. You have the courage to leave everything you know behind and start afresh.
Or what you don't know.
Yeah. And also having at the back of your mind that it might fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it fails abroad, it's always woeful.
Yeah.
why is it so heavy when they fail?
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to, because Lolo talked about it now, the realities of it. I remember this TikTok wave, this Japa wave, I remember being on TikTok. When I just joined the TikTok then, there's this particular song, TikTok, don't stop, remind me of everything. They're counting down to when they go, and then 0 days to Japa, and then they're gone. And that's the last you hear from them. We're not hearing about the struggle. We're not hearing about whether it's good or not. Tell us something. You've gone. We've been counting down for you, but just tell us something. So we do not exactly hear about the realities. I'm not saying it's all bad, but it can't be all good. There are perks, but of course there are also challenges. So have you faced any of those challenges, or do you know of those challenges?
There are loads of challenges, but again, you don't expect people to talk about them because it's social media, yeah? So people always want to show you the glamour and the rates and the good stuff. But of course, like I said, you're going to face a lot of challenges. Loneliness is one of them. I'll tell you a quick story. When I moved abroad for the first time, I moved to Saudi Arabia, which was the Middle East, okay? And you had to learn the language. So I didn't understand the language, and Saudi Arabia was very conservative at the time. So they had, if you go to a restaurant, for instance, you had doors for men and women. Doors for women. So you can't even meet a woman. I was there for 18 months.
You can't go for a date.
Date what? What 18 months? You can't even meet woman to toast woman. How will you do it?
Wow.
You know, and you had to start learning a new language to talk to people, you know, and it was more difficult because I was seeing patients, and you know, you then begin, is this all worth it? But from the start, I moved because I wanted money. So I didn't care about whatever challenges, you know, you throw at me. I just wanted the money. So long as I was getting money, I'm fine, you know. And people also don't talk about the discriminations that come with moving abroad, you know, racism. But again, I always tell people, why have you moved? You made up your mind. You decided you were going. So don't let it faze you. Okay, discrimination is always there. You know, you're black, they're white. Even Africans are discriminating against Africans. Yeah. I had a supervisor who was Egyptian and was discriminating. You bloody Nigerians. What is wrong with you? You think because you are white African, you are an African.
Yeah, especially those in the north. They say things like North Africa is not Africa. So that's discrimination.
The Moroccans and the Egyptians always feel that, you know, we're closer to Europe. So that's another challenge. So, you know, like I said, it takes a lot of courage. You're going to leave your family. You're only going to see your family on maybe video calls, WhatsApp. And
that's if you jackpot legally.
But we even know of families that go there and their relationships also get strained.
Yeah, get strained. You go. So the thing is, you've been eating eba for 20 years of your life with ogbono soup. Then you now move abroad and you can see pasta and English breakfast, and you can see different garnishings. You want to try something else.
Is that it? Okay, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's go for a break because I know Catherine has a question along that line. Because now the thing is, we're hearing about how Nigerian women are in the UK. The Nigerian man will take them, and then they're not grateful, and this is happening, and then she's kicking him out of the house. There's just a lot. You've changed. There's a lot of conversation. But all of that will continue. The life of an immigrant or a migrant. I always get them mixed up. When we come back,
migrant,
right here on Jasiri. You're welcome back to Jasiri. Waka Waka Doctor is blessed among women this morning on the show. Before we went on the break, we're discussing the angles to jack buying, the effects, the ripple effects, consequences if there are, and just challenges that people have to face. Before we went on the break, Blessings was speaking with the doctor, asking about the impact this has on
me again. I love it.
Oh God. Oh God.
Now she'll
do you understand? On family. So please, doctor, ignore the last. So I was like, they tell you the last one, really last one. You should have before you talk. You say, "Excuse me, can I raise your hand before you say something on this table?" Raise your hand. So, doctor, she mentioned a family angle, which is interesting, because we hear stories about when families relocate. Yeah. It's either the man, mostly is the man who's complaining, oh, my wife has changed. Before, she used to ask me if I came back from work, she has made me this, she's made me that, but now we're abroad, she doesn't even send me anymore. She feels as if, you know, it's as if because I brought her, she has now arrived. Now, what do parents and couples need to know? Because there's also an angle to it that maybe sometimes it's the woman who goes first because, okay, go and test the waters, you know, and see how the place is. Or it's Oga that goes first, go and check how the place is, and then after 6 months, you join me. So, but before couples decide to move or to relocate on together, ensemble. French. Before they relocate,
together, and parents, because you said you're thinking of children, stability, healthcare, and all of that. What do parents and couples need to first know before making that decision to relocate?
Thank you for the question. Honestly, in fact, yesterday I had this discussion with a friend, and one of the things that I said was that, look, I don't think I'm rightly placed to even advise couples because I'm not married, and so whatever I would tell, it would be from my own experience and what I've seen happen.
Yes.
Again, we also have to know at the back of our minds that bad news travels far.
Yeah.
So you hear a lot about bad marriages and the bad consequence of stuff rather than the good things that happen as well, because you have a lot of good people that travel as families and things even blossoms for them. But I always say that if you're going to marry as a family, if you're going to move abroad as a family, father, mother, kids, I think it's always better for one person to move first.
Oh.
Maybe the husband, maybe the wife. And the reason is because if 5 of you decide to move to a country where you don't know anybody, who's going to look for the school? Who's going to register with the GP? Who's going to look for the house to rent? Who's going to look for work? And to also consider the fact that the easiest way to move is moving as a student.
Yeah.
So if one of them is studying and has to work as well, how do they balance all this? It's going to be pretty difficult. But if one person goes and prepares, maybe give yourself 6-9 months, there's family reunification. That the family system is cherished in Europe, so it's always easy to bring a family over. And so when one person goes, it's easier that way. That's what I usually say. But if you do move as a family and you say, okay, we want to move by fire, by force together, I think couples need to have a conversation. You're moving to a brand new place, things are going to be different. If I'm in school, you're working, I cannot expect to come home and see fresh food on the table. It will not
Pounded
happen.
yam.
It can't happen. So if I'm going to work, I can, get to the shop and get food stuff and come home, or if she has to cook later in the night, division of labor, you will clean the house while she's working. You will bathe the kids while she's... So everyone has to know that there is responsibility. You're responsible. Okay, you drop the kids in school, someone else has to pick up because someone else is going to work. You split bills. Okay, you will not say...
you say a lot of these things very easily, but you know that a lot of men and their African echo, I think that's part of the bad press we're getting, is acclimatizing to the newness of this. This is a deeply patriarchal society where men take preeminence. So when they go abroad, how do they understand that division of labor?
So the problem is that you have to unlearn and relearn.
Yeah.
One of the problems we face in Nigeria...
How hard? How difficult? You make it also easy.
No, but you see, you have to adapt. You have to. One of the problems we face in Nigeria at the moment is because we have the same cycle of people leading us, for instance, who use archaic methods. So we are recycling leaders of 1950, 1960, 1970. Now think of the fact, if we have leaders in this country who are, say, born in the 1980s, do you think people who lead Nigeria, for instance, know anything about AI and all those technologies? Maybe not.
They attend the conference, but they don't listen.
But they don't, you see? So we have to relearn a lot of the things we know. Our fathers and husbands, for instance, maybe don't know how to bathe for kids. They don't know how to cook. But you have to learn this thing, my brother. You have to learn.
If not, okay, these are part of the conversations that you say they must have.
You must
because,
have.
Baba, it may not be your grace. You understand? Don't show something that doesn't come naturally.
But
it just occurred to me that she's wearing glasses.
Very well.
Focus.
I can't focus when you are looking at me. Don't goggles.
And you can
So when he was talking about the splitting in bills, I get that, and I hear a lot of people who do it. So you want
Do
the
you
woman...
split bills?
And you said? you want the woman, especially abroad, to split bills, but you will not want to split housework. You will not want to split child care. So there's no way, especially when women are in a society that listens to women, that gives them an opportunity to speak and to decide if this is how they want to go. Yeah. So Nigerian men, it's not necessarily that your wives are changing. Yes. You're in a new society. Yeah. You yourself also have to assimilate and acclimatize. Yes. It is not going to be the status quo of Nigeria. The wife that had a nanny and a house help and somebody living with them and a driver, it's a whole new situation for everybody.
Yeah.
Let's come back to not the Japa now, but at least the immigration part of the conversation. So while the top destinations for Nigerian migrants are the US, UK, and Canada, we're seeing an increasing number of people exploring countries like Germany, Turkey, and the UAE. And
even
Finland. Saudi Arabia is still in my head. But anyway, and that's for education as well as employment opportunities. So what are some of the advantages of considering these emerging destinations over the traditional places Nigerians typically are running to?
I think you have to ask yourself again, why am I moving? Why am I moving?
Some people move with a deference to, I'm going to Germany because I have people there. I know people there. I think we just gravitate to where at least you have some sort of...
if it's properly, it still has to be properly planned.
Yes, it has to be properly planned, but a large proportion of people want to move to the big leagues. And by big leagues, I mean US, Canada, Australia, UK. Those are the popular countries. But there are other opportunities that exist in these smaller ones that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, like Estonia was
huge. Yeah, Estonia is one of the major tech hubs in Europe. So if you're someone in the tech industry, you want to consider there. Germany at the moment is opening its borders and saying, we have this opportunity card that allows you come into Germany, stay for 6 to 12 months, look for work. If you find work, you stay. If you don't find work, alele, go back. You know, think about Kenya and Rwanda, emerging tech industries in these countries. So you don't, again, like I said, 197 countries in the world. You cannot restrict yourself to 5. You have to look and consider why you're moving to these countries and then take the leap. So,
you know, Nigerians don't know how to adjust expectations. A lot of people just think that once you, I can't even lie. You know, the very first time I went to the UK, I actually thought that I would see streets paved with gold. I didn't even think that they had a sewage system. I just felt that once you get to abroad, once the breeze blows you, all your problems, hitherto is in it. They become in it. They just become in it problem, and that is part of the problems Nigerians are having. Unrealistic expectations, because I know a lot of people that actually left this country on this false care visa, and they get there and they are left out in the cold. It's happening in UK. It's happening in Canada. So how do you want to be able to set your expectations? Because Nigerians just think that if you live abroad, the money you are making should be able to feed the entire village.
And black tax, please, as you
black
talk about...
Black tax is something
about black
that
tax for people who move
is part of the unrealistic expectation, because they've never been there. So their expectations are on money, job opportunities, weather adjustment, people, orientation. It's so many things that is just here in your head. You just think it would definitely... Some people tell you that, no worry, just have the visa.
Just have the visa, damn.
Even if it's visiting visa. I'm telling you, they will tell them all sorts of things that you can make it.
So the thing is, again, you know, desperation. A lot of people are desperate because of their circumstance in the current situation, current place they find themselves, and they're looking for better. And that's why a lot of people sell them dreams that are not, you know, feasible. And that's why planning is very, very important. No doubt, I mean, moving abroad in search of better, you will find better. Of course, if you're earning in pounds, you might only need 1,000 pounds to build a house in Nigeria. If you're coming from a place like maybe Burundi, for instance, poorest country in Africa, if you're earning 500 pounds, that could change a lot. You understand? So people have that at the back of their minds, but I think it's important to know that it's not easy. It's not as if, you know, things just change, boom, and then you have family members and friends who expect that once you done day abroad, you are sending money.
And their own life in Nigeria is set.
It's set to WhatsApp messages, Do you
get that a lot?
I used to.
What did you do to cut it off?
I went off.
So some people say they lie, that one, they don't have a job,
Just
or if
went
they
up.
have to talk to their families, they reduce how much that they have. Or like you said, they cut people off. Their
Just
number
went
is unavailable.
Yeah, just went
and
up.
Nigerians will sit back and be thinking, oh, they've changed.
I
But
would-
you-
I would
you're trying
not-
to put pressure on somebody.
I would not change my lifestyle
Yeah,
because
true.
of you.
Yeah.
I will not change my lifestyle because of you. Those I can help, I help. Those I cannot help, I cannot help. I'm not God. Even jollof rice does not make everybody happy.
That's so true. Coming from a man who has eaten jollof rice from a lot of places.
So when you
You have 1 minute.
That's the point.
You have
when
1
you
minute.
first arrived here, yeah, I want to say
I wrote-
I want to say I just said, let me just control myself. When you first arrived here, what was the first meal you ate?
Amala.
How many
Don't
wraps?
just say
Amala.
Abula.
Abul. Yes, ma'am.
How many
not Yoruba.
I am Yoruba.
You are?
I am Yoruba. Yes, I'm
How
Yoruba.
many wraps
like
did
it.
you?
I don't
No,
know.
it doesn't.
Did you consume and you were
That's
happy
a
about
shock
20
to
wraps.
me.
Yeah, me too.
Repeat
20 wraps.
20.
That's my record.
Is it one muscle?
What do you mean?
As in, the amala is just...
This is one wrap. 20.
20 at one
80.
time.
Yes.
Because you missed it so much.
So much.
And your body felt all right. Please tell me you
Am
were
I not
laughing.
here? Am I not here?
Catherine, we need to go.
Tell me you were feeling okay and you were greeting everybody
Am
on
I
the
not
road
here?
after that.
Am I not here?
Oh my God. Guys, I'm sorry. I wish he could stay on for longer. But unfortunately, this is all the time that we have for today's episode of Jasiri. We want to say a special thank you to Waka Waka Doctor for being an incredible
Thank you.
guest,
Thank
for being easy to talk to. I remember being informed is the first step to making a successful move. So until next time, stay safe, keep dreaming big. If you want to jackpot
biggie.
properly. Oh.
Heavy, heavy.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry. Bye-bye.